program. At different times, he has said that getting rid of that nuclear program is the main goal. At other times, he has echoed what Israel has said, which is that getting rid of Iran's other weapons, ballistic missiles and drones, that was the goal, or that the goal was to, in fact, get rid of Iran's support for various proxy groups in the region, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. It's not clear what the U.S. goal really is, and I've had many military observers say to me that is the main problem with this whole operation, that it's not clear what they are trying to do, and therefore it will be very hard to measure when success has been achieved. If, in fact, as Donald Trump says today, the goal is, in fact, regime change, getting rid of the top leadership, and as he puts it, getting the people of Iran to take over. He's urged them to go on the streets and to finish the job, as he puts it. If that's the goal, that may not be something that's achievable in the near future, and it's something that many people are watching to see exactly how much resilience this regime actually shows, whether their missiles are well hidden, whether they'll be able to continue resisting in the hours and the days to come, in which case this could be a very long and drawn out operation. The U.S. isn't showing any signs of using ground forces here, but at the same time, it's not clear that an air operation, which is what we've seen, can achieve any of the goals that we've talked about.
Okay, we'll continue to watch. Sasha, I wonder if you can stick around, because I think we need to go to the United Nations Security Council, where the Israeli ambassador has been speaking, and hopefully we can play it from the beginning, but let's listen in.
When the regime chants death to Israel, death to America, we take it seriously. We believe them, and we act. Our objectives are clear. First, to eliminate the immediate threat posed by the Iranian regime. Second, to dismantle its nuclear program. Third, destroy its ballistic missile production and capabilities. Fourth, neutralize naval threats. Fifth, break the terror proxy network. Today, unfortunately, we have heard condemnations from some members of this council and from the UN Secretary General. That is hypocrisy. We all know when the real escalation began. It began when the Iranian regime armed proxies across the region, when it expanded missiles and drones, when it advanced its nuclear program in violation of all its commitments, and when it brutally slaughtered its own people. Now, Israel and the US act to prevent an irreversible and immediate threat, and the condemnation is immediate. Some call this aggression, we call it necessity. We call it survival. To the brave soldiers of the US, the IDF, our Air Force, intelligence and security services, you are defending our people with courage and resolve. You stand like lions. Our entire nation stands behind you. To the brave people of Iran, we stand with you. We admire your courage. Our war is, but with the murderous regime that continues to plan attacks against us and has crushed the Iranian people for almost 50 years. History has taught us what happens when declared threats are ignored, when leaders openly call for our destruction and build the means to carry it out. We do not dismiss it. We do not gamble with our survival. We act. Thank you.
Thank you. It's Pamela Fault from U.S. News and World Report. Thank you, Ambassador, for the briefing. Since you're talking about regime change, can you confirm whether or not the Iran Supreme Leader has been killed, and what happens next if so?
We will continue to target the leadership of this radical regime. We will do whatever necessary to enable the right conditions and future for the people of Iran and stability for the region. Thank you. As long as it will take to achieve the goals I just mentioned. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think everyone sees what's happening on the ground and understand that the time for the Iranian people to take control of the future is very soon. Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you.
Okay, we've been taking you to the UN Security Council where there has been a meeting and there has been condemnation from some of the members against the Israeli and US strikes against Iran. We were taking you there to the comments from Danny Danon, the UN representative to the United Nations and Security Council. He said the condemnation that the Israelis are receiving as a result of these attacks is hypocrisy. And he says this was a necessity. This is about survival. And once again, he referred to the Iranian regime as a murderous one. What is very important to know, and I'll turn to my colleague Sasha about this as well, he was asked again, the critical question that we're now grappling with is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, dead? He didn't say yes and he didn't say no. What did you make of that answer?
Yeah, clearly not prepared to address that right now. That could be one of two things. It could be in that atmosphere at the UN, in the world of diplomacy, you don't say they've just killed the leader of another member of the United Nations. But it's also quite possible that they're not prepared to confirm that right now, and that perhaps Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, perhaps even Donald Trump, have gotten a little ahead of that in terms of their own confirmations of that. Still very much up in the air, but he wasn't going to go there.
When we've been talking about the Israeli war in Gaza, we've talked about the increasing isolation of Israel and how there's been so much condemnation of some of their behavior in in Gaza. Is there fear in Israel that now on Iran that they'll be further isolated by the international community?
Could be, but I don't think that that's what most Israelis are worried about at this point. I think that they have gotten over the fact that there are certain groups, certain countries in the world that have criticized them for their actions in Gaza. I think most Israelis are okay with that. And I'm not sure that their main worry right now is their international reputation, so long as they can be successful in achieving what they want to achieve here. That's the big question. Whether they will be. They would like to see regime change in Iran, but whether that's possible, whether they have gotten rid of the top leaders, and how long it will take to get real regime change on the ground is an open question. As Danny Danon said, now it's the time for the Iranian people to do something. So they're very much counting on that. And that is also an open question. What are the capabilities of the Iranian people or opposition groups there to step in and do anything, even if many of the things we've been hearing are true?
Okay. Thanks so much for sticking around for that impromptu press conference. CBC's Sasha Petrusik, senior correspondent. Always good to speak to you, sir.
My pleasure.
Okay, once again, a live look at Tel Aviv in the overnight hours as we continue to watch and see further reaction coming in. Now, a few moments ago, you heard from Danny Danon, the UN representative for Israel to the United Nations Security Council. He did not address whether or not Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed, but we have heard from the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who has said that there is increasing evidence, there seems to be ongoing information that does confirm the leader has been killed. That is going to be the critical question if, in fact, this is the beginning of the end of the Iranian regime that has been in power for almost 50 years. We're going to continue to bring you live, ongoing coverage right here on CBC News Network. everyone. I'm Natasha Fana, and you're watching CBC News Network, and we are bringing you ongoing special extended coverage of the military assault on Iran. Early in the morning, the United States and Israel launched a series of strikes on that country. Analysts say the operation appears to be motivated not only by security concerns for both the U.S. and Israel, but also by a broader objective to weaken and then potentially force out the Iranian regime. Now, explosions rocked the capital of Tehran today and across many other cities in Iran as missiles and aerial strikes hit military, government, and strategic sites. That includes the district around the presidential palace. Now, one of the things that we are seeing reports on, you can see it there in that key district of Tehran, is that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, has been killed. There has been no confirmation of that from Iranian officials. We're hearing that from the Israeli Prime Minister, who has been saying there's increasing evidence to indicate that. We're also hearing that from U.S. President Donald Trump, who's been speaking to a reporter at NBC News. We're trying to get confirmation on this. In fact, we heard moments ago from the Israeli representative to the United States, United Nations Security Council, and he would not confirm those details. So, these are the scenes on the ground in Tehran. In the meantime, you can see chaos in the streets. Iranians have been rushing to seek shelter, find their loved ones, get to safety, and for some, they've been fleeing the city altogether. But the Iranian regime has been responding. They have launched a series of retaliatory missile and drone attacks targeting U.S. military bases and Israeli positions across the Middle East, including in various Gulf states that host the U.S. forces. Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan all say they are intercepting missiles that have been fired from Iran. The scale of the damage across the region and even the number of casualties remain unclear at this point. Iran's foreign affairs minister calls the push to topple the Islamist regime mission impossible. And he adds that Iran was acting in good faith when negotiating an agreement on its nuclear program with the United States and Israel when they decided to launch their own attacks. He says, quote, "This is a war of choice by the U.S." Now, the first news of today's assault came directly from the U.S. President Donald Trump in an 8-minute-long video that he put on Truth Social. In it, he called on the Iranian public to seize control of their destiny and added that the lives of courageous American heroes may be lost. Here's part of that video.
We warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had